time for Game 2 between compLexity Black and Cloud9 Tempest. But first, I'd like to welcome Team Curse mid laner Voyboy to the desk. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Welcome back. We missed you.
I know. I was gone for so long.
What were your initial thoughts on that game that got a little out of control?
Yeah, so obviously Cloud9 Tempest took an early lead with the bad level 1 for compLexity Black. They got the 2-kill advantage with... It did happen pre-level, or 4 minutes, so it wasn't like game-breaking, but obviously if you start off at such a big disadvantage, you're going to have a bad time for the game. And actually, compLexity Black did a decent job of coming back, relatively speaking, considering the bad level 1. They got in the 4v1 kind of push scenario, kind of traded 2 turrets evenly, and then although Cloud9 did have an advantage, compLexity Black did start getting some picks off. Probably actually did die 1v1 mid, and then, but besides for that, he actually made a lot of plays with LeBlanc, and I think obviously compLexity Black's team comp was revolved around getting picks. They don't really excel at much. They don't have a strong split pusher. Warwick can't really pressure Shyvana ever in the 1v1 scenario. They don't really have great team fight potential. Like I said, going into the game, the way they were going to win the game is off of just denying them vision and getting picks off. And although they were able to do a decent job of that, they picked up a few random kills here and there. They weren't able to translate it into a big enough lead to take any major objectives. I think they got like 1 dragon or something off that. But when you saw like Cloud9 Tempest get into like the siege scenario or even the team fights, they just had a really big decisive advantage. And when they started grouping up and just like throwing Ziggs bombs and corky rockets at compLexity Black, they were just kind of sitting there. They didn't have a hard engage support. They didn't have really their engage was Warwick ulting one person and trying to give him. And when you're playing versus like a Kha'Zix or something, you can't even give him. And that was the target that they chose to go on a few times in the fight. So really, compLexity Black did not have too many opportunities to win the game, given their early disadvantage and they weren't able to translate like their pick comp into like solid enough leads to take the game back in their control.
So what do you think kept them then? Because they found like those 6 kills in a row kind of in early mid game.
Yep.
What kept them from just like constantly finding more of those and eventually just having 70 kills?
Yeah, so
that is.
They got a few kills, and when they were getting those kills, there was already a pretty big gold lead. Although they were picking up kills, you saw that the CS numbers were still going in favor of Cloud9. Ziggs had a pretty big CS lead over the LeBlanc, even though she was able to rack up like 2 or 3 kills, and that's just gold in their pocket. And even if you're getting kills, if the gold is relatively even or Cloud9 has the lead with that team comp, they're just going to end up coming out ahead in the team fights. And compLexity Black was able to establish a decent level of vision control. They actually at one point had like 3 pink wards in the Dragon Pit, but even with that vision, if the fights just evolve into like 5v5 team fights, Cloud9 is going to come out ahead, and that's what we saw happen. The Dragon really doesn't matter that much when you have a bad team comp, and even if you can pick up a dragon or 2, if you're going to just lose out mid-game in the push scenario or the 5v5 team fight, it's just going to have really bad implications for your whole game.
Yeah, and that game kind of being in the rearview mirror, Altec went completely nuts in that one. As you're moving towards Game 2, if you are putting yourselves in the shoes of compLexity Black, what are the main adjustments that you have to make to keep Altec in check and also to win the game?
Yeah, if I was compLexity Black, I probably wouldn't consider it like Altec like went crazy. He got really big on Corki, and obviously that became a problem, but I think that could have happened on any other AD if the game was playing out like that. I would honestly expect them to try a vastly different team comp. They tried the pick comp, they tried vision control, and just like looking to make plays off that, and it didn't really work out too well. And maybe they'll try it again. Maybe they consider like the 2-0 start for Cloud9 like the biggest factor, which honestly it probably is. Anytime you go into a competitive match and you start the game off losing first blood or just getting devastated in the level 1 fight, it's going to be pretty rough from there on out. And honestly, I'm not sure what they're going to try, but I think they will go with a different strategy.
Okay, so then Game 2, of course, C9T already up 1-0. What's your prediction for the second one?
I would say that Cloud9 Tempest is probably going to take the next game. I think they're going to ride off the momentum off the first big win, and I think that compLexity Black is still probably a little bit shaken off that first loss, but I don't know. Maybe they'll pull a big comeback.
All right, well, Vobe, thank you very much. We're going to get ourselves now into Champions League in just a second. So Game 2 is going to be underway in just a minute here. So